Long balls here for Monday, January 27th. Can you believe we're already kicking all the way through January? Americans were busy. Long ball number one. Let's start on the continent of Europe and Captain America, Christian Pulisic, back in the goals. He started in a wild game, AC Milan versus Parma. It took a late two-goal comeback to get the win for Milan to keep them in the hunt for fourth place. But it's great to see Christian Pulisic back in the goals. A very well taken penalty for Milan.
That man takes good penalties. Like if you have Christian Pulisic on your team, let the man take the penalties. Like stop with this thing where it's like, well maybe Tammy Abraham's gonna. No, Christian Pulisic takes the penalties. Stop it already. I don't think he's ever missed. I think I saw the stat was he's never missed. And you're making a questioning face, a doubtful face, Mr.
No, I that was my thoughtful face trying to remember one. And I wear my emotions right on my face and on my sleeve. And that was me scrunching my brain trying to think of a miss.
Okay.
And nothing comes to mind immediately.
No, you think it well. I mean, if it was a dramatic miss in a game that mattered, you remember it. And if it was a miss in a game that didn't matter, maybe it would slip your mind. But you can remember him scoring big penalties.
Oh, yeah.
You can.
More makes than misses come to mind for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and massive for Milan because they were on the verge of dropping points against a team in Parma way down in 16th. They had no business dropping points to. And I don't know that things have gotten markedly better under Conceição as he has taken over.
It's much the same.
No, it is much the same, but at the same time, again, Pulisic had injury blip in there. They went and they won that Super Copa in Saudi Arabia when Christian was there on the field doing things, in which question whether or not that mattered, but it's a trophy. Conceição gets to put that on his plus column for the moment as they try to build this thing again. Kyle Walker is now coming in. He didn't play in this game; he was in the stands. But they've got something to look forward to, and they absolutely had to win this game. So Pulisic, Reinders, and Chukwueze score, again, those two goals in added time to win that game, as you mentioned, because otherwise they would have lost the match, not just picked up 3 points. They would have gotten 0 out of it.
It was kind of wild that they actually scored 3, but one was ruled out. So the last bit of injury time, absolutely bananas. And then the action spilled out over into the post game when Conceição had to be separated from his defender that he had subbed out, Calabria. And I really like this quote that, this wasn't a big deal. It was like a father reprimanding a son who misbehaves. True, it wasn't nice, but that's normal in football. I love this. We are not in church. So just
when you say we are not in church in Italy, that means something. Like that has some heft to it, some weight to it. So yeah, good. And look, this is another reason to start believing that Pulisic is in a different place in his career, right? That this is a new Pulisic that is not as fragile as he was at Chelsea. And even if he is out for a match or two or whatever, when he comes back, he can pick up where he left off. Now, this is a penalty kick. This is not quite the same as scoring a brilliant goal from open play. But I don't think I care. What I care about is that he's healthy. And if you look at his FOTMOB rating, 7.8, he went the full 90 minutes, right? He created some chances. He had a couple of good moments dribbling the ball. So, he still was Christian Pulisic, and it's not even really a big sigh of relief. It's a smaller one because he's teaching us I'm different now. I'm stronger. I'm ready to handle the rigors of the season in Europe again.
And it's not like Chelsea when he gets injured. It takes a couple weeks for the manager to even consider putting him back in too. Big change there. And additional note, producer Jenny says transfer market has Pulisic 12 from 12 from the penalty spot. So good note there. Staying in Italy, Weston McKennie had a tough going at right back in Juventus's loss versus league leading Napoli. Again, Weston McKennie getting tested all over the field, this time at right back. Kind of a tough result, but, Napoli, a top team. Any notes on that or move along?
Well, no, I mean it's once again. I think we want to say that it'd be nice if Thiago Motta picked a spot for Weston McKennie and said that's your spot. By the way, for Milan, we should also mention that Yunus Musah started that game and played in midfield for AC Milan and had an assist. He also had an error that led to a Parma goal. So he was kind of a little bit all over the map, but decent day for Yunus Musah. In terms of Juve, with the two Americans there, it'd be nice if Motta said, okay, Weston, you're my guy in this spot on the field, and you're going to play there, and that's just the way things are going to go. Clearly, he has more utility than that, or Motta sees him as sort of the Swiss Army knife when they need somebody to play in any given position. I'm kind of mad about it. I'm kind of angry about it because every time he plays, and maybe you could argue against the league leaders in Napoli, it was a tougher day out, and he didn't cover himself in glory. But again, how can you blame him when they are consistently moving him around the formation? No one can feel completely settled at Juve. They just added Randall Colomuani. He got the start up top, scored the goal for Juve, actually gave them the lead before Napoli found 2 goals to win the game. So they're working things out. It's January. They're adding pieces. But, man, it'd be nice if Weston McKennie could be a midfielder because I think that's where he's best utilized. High utility player, touches the ball a lot, does a lot of things, can play creatively, can pop up in the goal in the box and score goals. So Thiago Motta, please find a spot for Weston McKennie and let him play there. Let him stay in that position.
Going farther north, but staying on the European continent, Ricardo Pepi remains in great goal-scoring form, getting a late one for PSV, which turned out to be the winner versus Breda. And PSV plays Liverpool in the Champions League match day 8. So a chance to impress his possible future suitor.
Perhaps. I don't think Liverpool is the club he's going to end up with. Let's just say that. Since you're kind of alluding to that idea, it's the same thing. I'm going to express frustration again. And look, in the case of McKennie, I have more criticism for Thiago Motta about McKennie and yanking him around the formation than I do for Peter Bosz and what's happening at PSV Eindhoven, because Bosz still does have a proven goal scorer who is the club captain. And I can't be mad at Bosz for being honest and saying, look, I've got Luke de Jong, and as long as I got Luke de Jong, Ricardo Pepi is going to be a backup. I want the kid to play. Every time he steps on the field, he scores a goal, it seems like. But that doesn't mean he's going to jump over an established player like Luke de Jong. So I guess, again, what we're hoping for is that something happens in this window. Now, there's that trepidation of what is the best place. And I think we did a segment on what might be the best destination for Ricardo Pepi. And I can't tell you 100% that he should go here or there or some other place, because any place that he goes, he is going to be up against it in terms of playing time. Anywhere that he goes that is a level above the Eredivisie and playing for the best team in that league, which is what PSV Eindhoven is. If he goes to West Ham, if he goes to any club in that portion of the Premier League table, there is pressure, right? There's massive pressure to perform because it's the Premier League and because the fans are crazy and the press is crazy and all those things. But it's also not going to be 100% for him to walk into the team and just start taking minutes. Now, the thing, I bring up West Ham because they have a crisis at striker. They did get Jared Bowen back, so that's one option for Graham Potter. But they still have other players who are missing. But when those players are healthy again, what is Ricardo Pepi's status? He would have to walk into the team, start scoring goals immediately. So it is a difficult spot for him to be in. But I think he absolutely deserves an opportunity to go be a number 1 striker, because every single time he's on the field, he scores a